podcast, a white podcast. You sat your for almost 2 hours
and didn't leave,
and you talk. And the white folk asked you, was you a professional officer?
Yeah.
We would have never asked you that, nigga.
Right.
Got respect for you.
Right.
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently, like it wasn't even disrespectful. And then I get to sit back and watch that. And what's the difference between them and us?
Okay.
Now I feel disrespect.
Right.
Don't do us like that.
Man, the internet has been on fire ever since Rick Ross and DC Young Fly went at each other. Nobody saw this one coming. It started off like a small joke, but the way DC flipped it turned into a full-blown viral roast that's got everybody talking. It all kicked off when Ross dropped some slick comments online, trying to clown DC like he was just some little comedian who didn't belong in his lane. Ross posted a video acting like a boss, puffing cigars, flexing around luxury cars, talking about how comedians need to stick to their section. But DC wasn't having any of that. He came back with a response so cold, so funny, and so quick that the whole internet was saying Ross picked the wrong one to mess with. See, DC Young Fly isn't just a funny dude. He's a master at turning words into weapons. Battle-tested on Wild 'N Out, roasting some of the biggest names in the industry for years. DC knew exactly how to handle this. When Ross threw shade, DC didn't back down. He made it entertainment. His comeback video went viral in hours, with fans calling it one of the funniest clapbacks of the year. DC looked straight into the camera and said, "Boy, if you don't go sit down with them lemon pepper wings and that Maybach you still leasing." The way he said it, pure comedy gold. Social media exploded with reposts, memes, and reaction videos. Even celebrities jumped in the comments saying DC done cooked him. Ross tried to play it cool at first, posting his usual clips of private jets, stacks of money, and that promised land mansion in the background. But fans weren't letting it slide. Every comment section he popped in, people roasting him, saying DC got you. Wingstop CEO lost this round. It became a running joke online. That's when Ross decided to fire back again. But honestly, it only made things worse. He tried to clown DC's career, saying comedians make jokes because they can't make money like bosses. But the internet wasn't buying it. DC had already won this round, and everybody knew it.
Fucked off on
Man, we were just talking to Angie Martinez about that yesterday.
We in Atlanta, so we run into him all the time. He do car shows. So it ain't never been no hard feeling.
I don't want to say no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, first of all, I don't give.
Yeah, I get it.
But I give a because
Try to make it.
You as a person.
Yeah.
We the type of people that will never bring up nothing that we feel like that can be diminished to your career or anything, nigga, because we some real niggas.
Yeah.
The moment you leave our show.
But that's when DC dropped the second nuke. He went live and said, "Boy, your whole life built on lemon pepper and lies." Fans went crazy again. And it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. That delivery had energy, street-smart humor, and confidence Ross couldn't match. DC pointed out how Ross always acted like a boss, but got caught slipping multiple times, from that correctional officer pass to questionable business moves. How you gonna call yourself the biggest boss when your biggest L's keep going viral? Boom, the internet exploded. That moment shifted everything. Ross went from untouchable to getting roasted like it was a comedy special. Fans treated it like a rap battle, DC versus Ross, comedian versus rapper. The wild part? DC wasn't rapping, he was just talking. Charisma like that can't be faked. Sharp jokes, fearless tone, zero pressure. Meanwhile, Ross looked tight, trying to save face with lines like, "Real bosses don't entertain clowns." But people saw through it. DC had turned him into a trending topic for all the wrong reasons. It got messier. Fans dug up old clips of Ross getting roasted and remixed him with DC's new clips. Chaos everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Ross getting roasted while DC's punchlines played in the background. Some even said DC reminded them of classic comedy legends who could destroy someone with a few words. This wasn't just a roast anymore. It was a cultural moment. Rappers, influencers, YouTubers, all reacting. And DC wasn't mad, laughing the whole time, treating it like fun. He even joked about a comedy special called Lemon Pepper Laughter. Fans said it to be an instant hit. Ross tried pivoting to business, Wingstop promos, Maybach flexes, self-made boss talk, but nobody cared. Every serious line got drowned out by lemon emojis and DC quotes. Big names like 21 Savage and Day Baby even liked posts siding with DC. The internet had decided. Memes went nuclear. Ross walking into Wingstop with DC's voice roasting him, fake Employee of the Month posters with DC's face, AI remixes of jokes turned into diss tracks. Fans made this a digital boxing match, and Ross couldn't win. Even his mansion flexes got buried in DC's momentum. Headlines read, DC Young Fly outshines Rick Ross in viral feud. Ross went from controlling the narrative to being the narrative. Here's the kicker. DC never went dark or personal. No attacks on family or health, just clean, clever roasting. That's why fans respected it. Even Ross had to know DC meant no harm. Ego aside, DC became the undefeated roast champ. Winning online, gaining respect across comedy, acting, and production. Celebs like Mike Epps, D.L. Hughley, and Kevin Hart applauded him as the fearless new generation of comedy. This feud also showed how fast online narratives flip. A few years ago, nobody would have imagined a comedian embarrassing a rap mogul this badly. But now, wit beats wealth. Energy beats flexing. DC proved that. Relatable, unfiltered, fun. His audience keeps growing. Ross might recover, he's still a legend, but the internet won't forget. Every flex now gets a lemon pepper joke. Bar for bar, or in this case, joke for joke, DC completely outperformed Ross. The timing made it even funnier because Ross had been getting called out lately for acting out of touch online, flexing too much, bragging about possessions while people were struggling. DC's jokes hit extra hard because they came with truth. He said what a lot of people were already thinking. Ross might be rich, but he's starting to look corny. That's why fans loved it. It wasn't just a roast, it was a reality check, served with laughter. That's the magic of DC Young Fly. He balances comedy and truth-telling. He makes you laugh, but also makes you think. Ross underestimated that power. He probably thought he could brush DC off like another internet troll. Instead, DC turned it into a cultural roast that exposed just how fragile Ross's image really is. And the funniest part? DC didn't have to cuss, get personal, or attack family. He simply used his natural charisma to humble a superstar. Now that the dust is settling, this Rick Ross versus DC Young Fly saga is shaping up as a turning point in celebrity culture. Fans are calling it the roast that humbled a boss, and honestly, that might be the most accurate description yet. No matter how much Ross tried to spin it, the truth is DC owned this entire moment. From start to finish, he proved the loudest mic drop sometimes comes from a comedian with a camera and confidence, not a rapper in a booth. After DC's last response went viral, Ross went silent for a few days. You could tell he was regrouping. His next posts were all business. Wingstop promos, Maybach photos, boss talk. But fans saw right through it. Silence meant he was taking the L. Meanwhile, DC's momentum only grew. He started trending again when clips of him performing at a comedy show surfaced. And of course, he took the chance to roast Ross live on stage. Rick Ross tried to check me, but I checked his cholesterol. The crowd went wild. Clips exploded online, and Ross became a walking punchline once again. It's wild because Ross built his brand on dominance, being untouchable, the biggest boss. But DC cracked that image with jokes too real to ignore. Fans pointed out that Ross had been throwing subliminals at rappers, podcasters, and more for months. Nobody hit back like DC. It's almost poetic, a comedian making a rap mogul look small. That's what people mean when they say the internet leveled the playing field. Fame and money no longer guarantee respect. Authenticity does. Then, of course, the memes went nuclear. Ross walking into Wingstop with DC's voice roasting him, fake Employee of the Month posters with DC's face, AI remixes of DC's jokes turned into diss tracks. The fans' creativity made this feud even more entertaining. It was like watching a digital boxing match, but the crowd got to throw punches too. Ross couldn't win because every move he made just added fuel for memes. At one point, he tried flexing at his mansion again, showing off his pool stacked with champagne bottles, but DC's fans immediately flooded the comments. One said, "You can't buy a comeback." Another wrote, "DC owns this pool." Brutal. Even entertainment blogs jumped in with headlines like DC Young Fly outshines Rick Ross in viral feud. That's how deep it got. Ross went from controlling the narrative to becoming the narrative. What really set DC apart? He kept it funny, clean, and clever. No dark digs, no personal attacks. He never mentioned Ross's family or health. Fans respected that. It was classic roasting, sharp, spontaneous, hilarious. Deep down, even Ross had to know DC didn't mean harm. It was just one entertainer defending himself with pure talent. Ego is tricky, though, and Ross's pride made it harder to laugh along. By now, DC was being called the undefeated roast champ. He's humiliated plenty before, but this might be his biggest W yet. He didn't just win the internet, he earned more respect across the entertainment world. Celebs like Mike Epps, D.L. Hughley, and Kevin Hart reportedly showed love, saying DC represents the new generation of comedy, fearless, funny, and sharp. This feud also showed how fast narratives flip online. A few years ago, no one would have imagined a comedian embarrassing a rap mogul this badly. But culture has changed. Wit beats wealth. People connect with energy and truth more than money talk. That's why DC's audience keeps growing. He's relatable, unfiltered, and fun to watch. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and that's why people take him seriously. Ross might recover eventually. He's still a legend in music and business, but the internet won't forget this one. Every time he flexes online now, someone's dropping a lemon pepper joke or a DC quote. It's stamped forever. This roast wasn't just entertainment, it became symbolic. No one, no matter how powerful, is safe from being clowned if they get too cocky. And here's the wildest part. Rumors are now floating that DC and Ross might actually link up, maybe a podcast or a comedy skit to squash the tension and cash in. Imagine DC walking through Wingstop cracking jokes while Ross plays the straight man. Fans would eat that up. Both know controversy brings views, and views bring money. So who knows? Maybe this beef turns into pure gold. Maybe this beef turns into business one day, but for now, DC is sitting comfortably with the W. His timing, confidence, and humor turned a small online jab into a full-blown career highlight. Ross learned the hard way. You can't outshine someone who's naturally funny, no matter how many cars or mansions you flex. The people decided. This time, the crown goes to the comedian. DC proved that laughter always wins, especially when it's backed by truth. Now his name is ringing louder than ever, while Ross got a reminder that even the biggest boss can catch a digital fade if they mess with the wrong one. Drop a comment, smash that like button, and share this video. Who do you think really won this battle?